This is Greg Troutwine with Offshore Engineer TV. We're here in Aberdeen at the Offshore Europe 2019. We're very pleased to be joined by Jonathan Minette of Aker Solutions. And Jonathan, first and foremost, thanks for joining us.
Greg, thanks for having me and talking to me about this.
So Jonathan, just to start off, what is your title and what is your specific area of responsibility?
So I look after Greenfield business development for Europe and Africa, mainly on topsides facilities, but also from an early phase development perspective from the whole picture. Yeah, Subsea and topsides.
Okay, well, obviously we know Aker Solutions is an innovative company. Yeah. I see this large intelligent subsea placard behind me.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, no, you can't miss it at all. So what exactly is the intelligent subsea concept?
Okay, so intelligent subsea is kind of the next phase, the transformation of subsea development. So we as Aker Solutions see three things that are really key to our offering. And intelligent subsea sits kind of at the intersection of those. And that is integrated design, okay, accelerated development, and then maximizing performance. Okay, so can I share a little bit about what each of those mean?
Absolutely.
So integrated design kind of talks to the entire value chain and the entire life cycle of an asset, and at Aker Solutions we're privileged to be able to assess assets from the wellhead right through to the point of export, so full value chain. And we don't assess parts in isolation. It's looking at that whole picture and coming up with the optimized design. And I mentioned then through the life cycle, we're all familiar with the decline of production curves. We have technology to put in place later on in life, and we design for that early, so that it can be done in the most cost-effective way in the longer run. From a accelerated development perspective, we're talking a lot about standardization. Standardization is really key, and that's not everything being standardized, but it's the key building blocks being absolutely on the shelf, ready for call up, and then we can tweak, we can configure the trees, whether that be the control modules or the trees, on a much smaller and specific element basis. One really cool example from the controls perspective is we've moved from a hardware configurability, so we're rewiring and so on, to our vector system, which is a absolutely standardized control mod. And the only thing that's configured there is the software side. So we've moved from a hardware configuration to a software configuration, which means that it's much more reliable because there's no moving parts inside. It's just cards, and the software side is much more robust. And then finally, where we're seeing the maximized production, that's a case of using our digital thread, which starts right at the beginning and lives on through to be able to identify issues early. So if there's a leak, be able to get to that real quick. So we've in some cases dropped the cost of intervention by 80%.
Oh, wow.
We knew where to go to look for the leak, and we addressed that really quickly. So your rig time is lower, your ROV time is lower as well. So I can give you a few more examples, but that's kind of intelligent subsea in a nutshell, those 3 points.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting them to work quicker, and you're keeping them working longer and helping to lower their cost, which, as you know, is very important today.
Absolutely. We're dealing with smaller pools, we're dealing with larger step-outs, we're dealing with harsher environments. Economics are squeezed, and this is what's there. We have to drive value into our solutions. We have to cut out cost, and that's exactly what intelligent subsea is about.
Okay.
If for a moment you'd let me talk through the Johan Castberg case, which is great. Barents Sea, it's a live project. I was out in Singapore a few weeks ago, and I was looking at the vessel, big chunks of the hull being made ready. This is a project that's really meaningful to Aker Solutions. We've been with the project right from concept through to feed. We redid some conceptual work to get it into the state that it is today. We save 50% cost on the original design, 50%. So that's significant, as a capex cost, but opex is reduced as well. So we'll live with that, and as that goes on, we've been very aggressive in terms of demanning that. So as it goes through the life, opex remains low as well. So these are the drivers we're considering in the integrated design, because we did subsea and the topsides on that as well. The trees on Castberg are vertical trees. They're 30% lighter than traditional trees. So your intervention vessels don't need to be as big. You don't need heavy lift. So, that significantly reduces the cost, not only of the bits of equipment, but of any intervention. So great for the operator in the long run.
Okay, so it sounds like it's thought out from start to finish.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that when you start spending money, the money that you spend is put to the most effective use in the design and in the operations.
Okay, well, it's a busy show. You've been very kind with your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Greg. See you soon.
Okay. This is Greg Troutwine with Offshore Engineer TV.